Hello, everybody. It's Brian Sachs. If you could just type in the box that you can hear me, and we'll get ready to begin. So just want to get myself set up here and want to make sure that everyone is able to hear me and see my screen. So if you could just let me know that, that would be great. Okay, so if you could, please just type in the screen. I want to welcome everybody here. I see that Patricia's here, and Rick, and Sidra, and Stan, and Steve, and Carolyn, and David. Oops. Okay, can everybody hear me now? Type yes in the box if you can hear me. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me before we get started. Okay, so let's begin. Want to welcome everyone here. Oh, sorry.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, so want to welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me? I see that if you could just type yes in the box. I see Carolyn, I see David, Gerald, Keith, Mark, Stan, Steve, Victor, Sidra, Rick, Patricia. Great. Okay, so good. I'm glad I'm coming through loud and clear. You know, I had the privilege of seeing a gentleman. I believe I'm giving credit to the right person. I always want to give credit to the right person. But I believe that the person who said this was Jim Rohn. If any of you think otherwise, you can certainly type it in the box. But what he said was, it was either Jim Rohn or Earl Nightingale. And what this person said was really sort of profound. And he said, if you want to be successful, all you need to do is look around at what everyone else is doing and do the exact opposite. And I could really do a hangout here with everyone for hours and hours just talking about this one topic, but I know we're all busy and I know we all have things to do. So I'm going to get right to it, but it's worth writing down. If you want to be successful, look around at what everyone else is doing and do exactly the opposite. And many of you may experience this as an issue when you go out, and I've taught you some techniques to deal with this, but you go out there and you start running up against competition. So you're selling a mobile website. Well, you're selling it for 1,000. Someone else is selling it for 400. Someone else is selling it for 200. And then you have Duda Mobile selling it for $7. So, we stopped selling mobile websites. We now sell a customer capture program. And in essence, it's a mobile website, but what you call it and how you separate it matters. I talk about being a head of lettuce and, really just being a commodity. So don't know why that thought popped in my head, but just thought I would share that with you. So let's move on to what I wanted to cover with you all today. And what I wanted to cover with you was how to finally stop selling to the wrong people. If you could just type in the box here. Anybody succeeding, doing really well, meeting your goals, or is anyone sort of like out of sorts and not quite where they want to be? Well, let me ask you a better question. Who's had 2 sales this month? Type yes or no. Okay, lots of you out of sorts, not many of you making sales. So it's actually pretty profound. None of you making sales that are answering. And that's why we have these hangouts, by the way. So it could be that you are selling to the wrong people. The best person you can, and I've got to just come clean here and tell you, I buy WSOs, I buy programs. I like to know what's out there. And, for those of you that are members of the Ultimate Market Takeover, I operate on that small hinge principle. But the truth is that so many people are telling us to go after, like I just watched a webinar right before I got on here. And this webinar is telling you to sell websites to people who do not currently have a website. Now, we're in the year 2013 when I'm recording this. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? What do you think? Seems logical, doesn't it? So Keith says it's a waste of time. Carolyn says it's a bad idea. But everybody needs a website, right? Wouldn't it be smart to sell to someone who doesn't have a website? Wouldn't that just be easy? So Carolyn says, if they don't get it by now, when would they? See, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get to here. A lot of what I'm trying to do with all of you is not give you robotic techniques. Robotic techniques have their place, and everything we try to do, we lay out for you in a way that you can systematically make it work for yourself. But I want you all to think too. And I know that you listen to others. I know you buy other products and other systems and travel to other events, and that's great. You should. You need to educate yourself. But I want you to have some criteria for sifting and sorting and filtering so you don't go down, the wrong avenues, so to speak, both mentally, financially, and emotionally. So, the best person you can possibly sell to is someone who already gets it and wants to do better. See, in this space, by the way, the best person that I can coach is someone who's already doing okay and has their business up and now wants to take it to the next level. It's very hard for me to help someone get their business up. I can do it, and I am doing it, and I have done it, and so is Robert. We can help you get your business going. But the real people we're looking for in our coaching program are actually people who are up and we can now take to the next level. And that's what you want to think about in your business too. Who is already doing okay, already up, already in business, already advertising, but it's not working for them. So you want to talk to people who already get it the wrong way. The best way to learn is from mistakes, by the way. So some people teach you what to do. Sometimes I'm trying to teach you what not to do, because learning from your mistakes, maybe the fastest way to success. So mistake number one is thinking that everyone is your prospect. Not everyone is your prospect. And I know that, let's just stay with mobile websites for a second, since that's the way we started. If we're talking about mobile websites, 90% of businesses in the country in the world probably, do not have a mobile website. Do they all need it? Yes, they absolutely do. But we got out of a niche because we were trying to make people's website mobile, and guess what? They didn't even have websites in that niche. Most of them, just operated off of a phone. And they didn't even do yellow page ads. They were just not used to it. That's not the way they operated. Bad for them, because they're a service that needs to be found and mostly is found, and the person who needs them finds them on a mobile device. But not everyone is your prospect. You've got to be very, very careful. A cosmetic surgeon, are there searches? Sure there are on a mobile device, but a restaurant would probably benefit more. Emergency veterinarian probably benefit more. God forbid you're driving, you see a dog injured on the side of the road, and you want to take them to an emergency veterinarian, or whatever the case may be. So not everyone is your prospect. And an Ultimate Market Takeover, for those of you that are members of that program, we're telling you why. You want to go deep into a niche and be a specialist, not a generalist. Mistake number two, I see lots of people doing, and that is explaining it. And actually, this was a problem I had in the very beginning. I started seeing some of my beginning proposals. My proposals right now are like 3 sheets. They used to be 42 sheets. And I was really just trying to explain to everyone and show them benefits, because that's the way my brain's always been wired as a direct response marketer. Show them benefits, teach them, teach them, teach them, teach them. Well, in the reality, people just want more customers. So can we get you more customers or can't we? Real simple. So instead of explaining all the ins and outs and trying to sound good, the more technical jargon you use with someone, the dumber they feel, because 99.9% of the people out there don't know what we know, and we shouldn't try to explain it to them that way. When I was in the mortgage business, I used to watch my loan officers try to be, they were wearing nice suits and wingtip shoes, and they tried to, really talk the talk. Well, you know what? Sometimes they'd have a plumber in there, and there's nothing wrong with being a plumber. They'd have some sort of blue-collar or even white-collar person, by the way, even a physician. And they'd start talking, mortgage mumbo-jumbo. I used to call it mortgageese. And you'd see the people go blank. And that's what we do in our business. We try to explain mobile marketing and SEO and PPC and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They go blank on us. So just talk about benefits. You heard me in a previous one of these Hangouts talk about what we did with the Harley people. We only offered 2 programs: get more customers or dominate your market. Now, we told them on there what they get, but it wasn't about that. It was all about making it real simple and something that they can relate to. So don't talk down to them. Don't talk over them. Talk to them in verbiage they can use. Okay? In computer terms, called technobabble. That's right. That's exactly right. And by the way, trying to convince them to advertise. Wow. You're going to try to convince a business who doesn't have a website or has got a crappy website, and you're going to try to convince this person to advertise. Well, people better than you and me have failed. So why even go there? Why even waste your time going through all that? It's just silly, to be honest. There's much lower hanging fruit and much better long-term customers. And the people who aren't advertising, they want an immediate return on their investment. They're probably businesses that are struggling right now to stay around. I'm curious, how many of you think that the economy is getting better here in America? Type yes or no in the box. I'm just curious by what you see. Sidra thinks it's getting better. Who else? Stan says no. Steve says yes. I'm not saying is it good. I'm just asking if you think it's getting better. Wally says no. Carolyn says not sure. Well, Carolyn, forget about what you hear from both sides. What do you think? Victor, a little better, not much. BS, that's my initials. It's going, it must be Saviano, huh? It's going up on hot air. Carolyn, for me, a little better. Good, okay, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I heard today that the economy is getting better. Tell it to the business that's located right next to us who told me today she's closing her doors for good. But I'm sure it's getting a little better for some. Maybe it's not getting better for others. But, don't go around trying to convince people. Take people who are already advertising and try to make it better. So the better way to sell is not to sell at all. Remember how I started this. If you look around at what everyone else is doing and you simply do the opposite, you will be successful. So the better way to sell without selling is find people who are already advertising but not doing well. Find businesses that are mom and pops and have no idea what to do. They can't afford an ad firm. Their Yellow Pages ads aren't working. The Valpak isn't working. Nothing's working. And they're in business. They'll stay in business, okay? But, yeah, I know some of you are talking about the healthcare rules and Obamacare and, actually, I will tell you. So Wally says, just talk to used car dealer that's got $500K to recover from 10-11. He says it will take 5 years to recover from downturn. Damn, just gave me $1 million deal. So I'm actually going to share something with you. It's a little bit off on a tangent. Maybe that's the beauty of these Hangouts. You kind of never know what I'm going to say. But let me share this with you. I am no fan of Obama. or Obamacare or anything else. And I tell you that for really a marketing lesson more than I tell it to you for anything else, because I think our president is an extremely intelligent person. I think he's an extremely articulate person. I also think he's a little bit out of his league in terms of, what's going on in the world. But here's the point. Well, I'm not even going to go there, Keith, but here's the point that I'm trying to make to all of you. And it's a point that's worth listening to. And it's a point worth writing down and implementing. Most people, especially a guru, they're very, very afraid to take a stand. And I'm going to share something with you because it's important for you to do this in your business. The more of a stand you take, you will alienate people. I'm sure I just alienated some of you when I said that I'm not a big fan of Obama, okay, or Obamacare. Nothing against him personally, just not a big fan of his policies. So that offended some of you. But here's what else it did. It took those of you who agree with me and made you more loyal to me. Do you see that? I now identified with you. Yes, I upset some of you, and I'm actually could say this in a much stronger language if I wanted to, okay? But I hope you understand the message I'm trying to give you, okay? Take a stand. Be passionate about what you do, and the people who don't buy from you weren't going to buy from you anyway. And the people that are going to buy from you will buy more from you because you're passionate and you're taking a stand. Folks, I'm telling you, that's a multi-million-dollar tip right there. So find businesses with high-value clients. Find businesses that are already established. So where do you look? Right under your nose, okay? Valpak, Yellow Pages, billboards, placemats, supermarkets. I went to the supermarket, which I try to avoid like a plague. And there is an ad on the shopping cart, there's an ad at the checkout, and there's an ad at the billboard as you walk out. Can anybody tell me who's advertising on your local supermarket's shopping cart? It's probably a realtor, an insurance agent, or someone else. So, somebody called them and said, hey, get your name out there. We have this program on a shopping cart or a placemat, that people are going to spill their soup on for $1,000. But here's what you know. You know that these people are trying. You know that they have some kind of money because they've already spent it, okay? And you also know, sure as I know, that they're not getting any results. So they are the perfect client. By the way, my favorite is going to page 2 and 3 of Google and looking at the ads. These people are paying someone to manage ads and they're not being seen, okay? So also a perfect scenario for you to market whatever services you want to market, okay? So does this make sense to you all so far? Yes? Anybody learned something new so far, or this is old hat for you? Carolyn says yes. Sidra says yes. Who did I piss off? Looks like all of you are still here. So I guess I didn't upset anybody. Wally, yes. Stan says good jazz. Again, I'm trying to give you little tips here to help you make an impact on your business. And you should also be looking at the Monday morning marketing minutes. Did anybody catch that one this week? It was about your first time. Anybody remember their first time? See, now we'll see how vulgar this audience really is, because I didn't say first time for what. I just said, do you remember your first time? So if you haven't seen that, you ought to go back and check it out, because it was a really very well done Monday morning marketing minute with obstacles that, lots of people, all of us, me included, by the way, I'm far from perfect. Brian bought the book that, I don't know if he wants me to say it's Brian. He's BS. Bought the book you recommend. Good. So, every Monday you get those Monday morning marketing tips. You won't get one this Monday because my daughter is leaving for a year in Israel. She's a junior at Penn State, and she's taking a year abroad. And she's leaving Monday. I have to take her to New York. And fortunately, the gas mask I bought for her just arrived in the mail. It's pretty pitiful in this day and age that you got to buy your child a gas mask to go off to college. But that's a whole nother commentary, and save my opinion for another time. But okay, so we've now even identified some places. But I mean, you see these little shopper magazines and all that kind of stuff. Stan says I should buy her some armor. No, she's pretty tough actually, and I would pity anyone that messes with her. So I'm not worried about her. But here's another big tip for you before I let you in to ask some questions. You see, this is the deer in the headlight. Okay, so you're going to hit him, and he knows you're coming, but he don't know what to do about it, and he just goes cold on you, blank. This is a big mistake I was making in the very beginning, trying to sell them lots of things all at the same time. Only sell them one thing at a time. And if you're going to sell them a bunch of things, lump it at least into a program. As I told you, and I know some of you are just jumping on, I labeled my program Dominate Your Market or Get More Customers. And so like in Get More Customers, we had Google, we're going to claim your Google Places page. We are going to build you a mobile site, a couple other things, but we didn't go into great detail. All we said is we're going to make sure you're seen. And now if you want to dominate your market, well, now we got to do videos, we got to do some other stuff, and we're going to get you a mobile app. But we didn't dwell on all that. But you have to do the math for them, okay? Don't assume that they understand the math. So if you are working with a tire store, as an example, it doesn't matter. It could be a cosmetic surgeon, a LASIK surgeon, a plumber, a roofer. I know every guru I ever hear, always wants to talk about roofers. So let's talk about a roofer. So a roof is $5,000, okay? So if I'm able to get you if you spend $1,000 with me and I can get you one client for that month, well, you've now made back all of your money. So, I'll give you another example. Robert and I have a client that is a real estate. They actually develop real estate, okay? And so they have shopping centers, they have office buildings, things of that nature. And they had a building that they were having a problem with leasing out. And we're doing mobile pay-per-click and SEO work. I said to him, I said, Aaron, it's really pretty simple. You're paying us $500 a month, but, every day that goes by that your space is not leased, it's costing you money. It is also lowering the value of your building because in commercial real estate, the value of your building is based on your rent and how long the tenant's been there. So I said to him, if we were able to just if we were able to find you one tenant who took, 2,000 square feet, that would be a home run based on what you're paying me, $400 a month. And so we went about 6 months. He reevaluated on Monday, and he promised he was going to reevaluate in 6 months. I didn't remind him, but he did. And Monday he canceled with us. Yesterday, he got a call from somebody who saw his building was searching for it and found it and watched the video we prepared and leased 4,000 square feet. And so he said, remember I told you to cancel? And I canceled it, by the way, and sent him confirmation, no hassles, as promised. He said, ignore that. Please start it up again. Sorry we even canceled it. So, but I did the math for him. See, don't assume. Don't ever assume. Do the math for them so that they understand exactly what's happening. And Wally says, if you can identify the big problem, they respond to that. Find out what's keeping them up at night. Absolutely. Right. No, Keith, I did not double the price. I was thinking about it, though. Now, I will also tell you that showing them is better than telling them. And if you only have the opportunity to tell them, at least make them see it with the words you use. Make them be visually engaged. Rub their face in it a little bit. Tell them where they are right now versus where it should be. So if it's a mobile site, we're sticking with that. Show them what their site looks like. And then show them what their competitor's site looks like. Because now you're getting into ego, NLP, and psychology. And then show them what the results are. Show them what the math is. Okay? So That's really kind of what I wanted to go over with you today. Again, I'll try to keep these Hangouts, not short, but relatively short. But, I'm trying to jam pack you with good ideas you can use and hoping you're pulling out a nugget. So who got a nugget? Any nugget getters? Good. So Wally got a nugget. BS got a nugget. By the way, I'll tell you, there's a site called Stan got 3 nuggets. Good for Stan. Gerald got a nugget. Stephen got a nugget. How about you, Sidra? Any nuggets? Carolyn, any nuggets? Buford, any nuggets? Rich got a nugget. Awesome. Okay, Sidra's taking notes. Good. Excellent. So there you have it, folks. You can watch these and try to replay these. And Carolyn says, trying to fit this into the niche concept instead of, well, it's exactly what this is, by the way. This is about being a specialist. Gerald, group of services, absolutely. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you guys, I only do this, and obviously this is sort of like a no pitch zone. We're not, trying to sell you anything at all, really just trying to help you. So, good. I will tell you there's a software called join.me. There may be others out there, and that's not an affiliate link or anything, but instead of using a GoToWebinar where people have to download it, join.me is much simpler. They just go to, the person you're going to be sharing your screen with just goes to it and sees your screen. So don't be limited by thinking you have to, let them see it in person. But good to do mock-ups. Robert and I are working on a platform right now that will be a mobile builder for you. Who just so I can understand this, who in here would love to have their own mobile site builder they had access to without having to outsource it or manage an outsourcer or anything else? Would that be of interest to any of you? Because we're exploring it, and I want to make sure before I explore it that there's some interest. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Great. Okay. So, again, I try to make this a no pitch zone, and I'm not going to make this a pitch. But Stan says maybe, but do have one already. Good. Okay. Well, you can always have more than one. So here's a big announcement. And this is actually kind of funny. Members and subscribers only preview. We put up this morning the Instant Sales Army, and these are the 9 quick and easy ways we use to create our very own sales force. Really, this should be a course for hundreds of dollars. And, I'm Victor. I'm not going to put the link in the chat box because, believe it or not, the site is down. And I'd love to be able to tell you that, I've always wanted to be in a situation where I blow up a server during a launch. But I don't know what happened, to be very candid. But Robert very quickly, you got a forbidden 403 message. That's right. But it's being fixed, and it should be up within the hour, hopefully. Great way to kill sales and great way to kill launch is to have your site ready to go, send out the emails, put it in the, put the information in your Facebook page, and then have the site not work. So there's a lesson there as well. And by the way, it was working this morning, so it wasn't that Robert didn't test it. It worked. I don't want to be very pitchy here, but check this out. It's only going to be up for a couple days because I want to give you, our members, a discount, and I want to make sure that, thanks, DJ. I want to make sure that you guys have a chance to check it out first. So again, I'm not going to be very pitchy, but I will tell you, if sales is your problem, it's worth checking out. So questions. Who's got questions? Let's hear it in the chat box. Anybody got questions? Okay, so Steve, if you invested in the Instant Sales Army, or you're trying to invest, if you invested, the site's down, and if you're trying to invest, the site's down, but it will be up very shortly, and I apologize for that. I don't know what else to say. So It will be back up very, very shortly. But anybody have any questions I can answer while we're here today? Anything holding you back that I could be of value in answering any questions? Anyone? Buford, you're awful quiet today. Why are you so quiet? Okay, well, if no, I'm going to give you another second. Maybe I have the one-on-one schedule, but I'm stuck on whether or not a mobile. Okay, Keith, thank you, because you were very good. So, Carolyn, I'm going to open you up if I can. I'm going to unmute Carolyn. Stan says, have a good weekend, you guys too. Buford just got in from a sales meeting. Okay. Wish I could get clients. Life is rough. Well, I will tell you the instant sales army is actually a good way to do it. And I know that sounds self-serving. But Carolyn, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
All right. So what's your question?
Well, I think what it is looking at, I'm back at the niche thing again, drilling down into it and trying to really identify a product that would work for that. And I love the mobile, threshold, being kind of low on that, as opposed to saying, oh, well, we'll do, SEO and that kind of stuff.
Well, first of all, none of us do SEO. Okay, so let me stop you there for a second, Carolyn.
Okay.
When you start telling a client you do SEO, I'm going to go back to a slide. Do you do SEO or PPC or MOUSE?
You mean which of the alphabet?
Right. So
and you hit it right. I don't know what to call it.
Well, what are you doing?
Increasing their visibility.
So why don't you call it that?
Like a visibility package?
No, I wouldn't even say that.
What?
What's visibility mean?
Getting eyeballs so that they have a chance to connect with these people who are looking for what they do.
So say that again a little better. We're going to help the people searching for you find you instead of your competition.
Right. So they find you first before your competition.
Now, do you think the business owner really cares if you're doing SEO, PPC, MOUSE, or standing out on the edge of the highway with a sign holding it up pointing to their store? Do you think they care?
No.
So why tell them that?
This is why I love these Thursday things.
Because all you've done now is you've made yourself sound smart and you've made them feel stupid. And do you know what someone who is confused does? Does everybody know what someone confused does?
They don't make any choice.
They do nothing. Yeah. That's right. They do nothing. So, Carolyn, what you're saying is exactly right. But that's what we're taught. We do SEO. We do PPC. We do blah, 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 blah. Okay? Nobody cares. All the business guy wants is, or the dentist or the professional, only wants a phone call. So, does anybody know what the tagline for trackable response is?
No.
No? Can you guys all still see my screen? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay. What's that say?
Helping customers find you with a 5-star reputation.
Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Okay, so other questions, Carolyn?
All right. Let's see if I'm looking at the niche. And okay, I'm trying to find the association. If you're looking into more of a medical niche, the associations don't, I know you said this before, that there's usually some kind of a membership level or something that you can join. But usually in the medical stuff, it's like you have to show that you are either a practicing whatever, or you're in school, or you work in their offices.
That's not true.
Okay, tell me how.
Most of them will have an affiliate or a partner. They all call them something different. But just as an example, I don't own a tow truck company, but I market products to towing companies, and I am an affiliate member. They call it an affiliate member. Some will call it an associate member. Some of them will call it a vendor member. But I know that there are people in the dental field, as an example, that sell them linens that are members of the association, that sell them the instruments that are members of the association, that sell them marketing that are members of the association, that sell them phone systems and computer IT outsourced that are members of the association.
You know what I'm doing is I'm looking at their website and going to the membership tab, and that's what's telling me this. So maybe if I called them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying everyone all the time, but I'm just saying 90. I've never found one that doesn't, by the way. I've never found an association that if you can make a compelling case that what you do helps these folks and you are actually helping them and they can see that, why they wouldn't want to have you be part of their association. But let me just play it through with you, Carolyn, okay? If they said, no, you cannot join my association, okay, well, I can't join your association, but what can I do to help you educate your members and make your job easier?
And then you just wait for them to respond?
Yeah, see, I don't stop talking, do I? You said no. No means I haven't convinced you. To most normal people in the world, no means no when you hang up and go click, right?
Right.
When you say no to me, it just means that I haven't convinced you, and so now I'm very curious, what is it that I have not told you that you need to know so I can convince you? And I will keep talking to you till you hang up on me, Carolyn.
Okay. So
don't be that easy.
Okay. So you just keep asking. You just keep asking them.
Well, so here I just gave you a script in a sense, okay? So I'm going to call up the Urological Association. Let's say your thing is urologist, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to call up the Urological Association. I say that because they happen to be right in downtown Baltimore. So I'm going to call them up, and no, I'm not a urologist, but I do work with urologists, and I do know that many of the urologists out there are spending a lot of money locally on advertising, and I'm sure that means that they need more business or more patients. And I would like to assist them in showing them what the digital landscape looks like. Do you have anybody educating your members on what the digital landscape is like and how the folks in the urological profession can benefit from it?
I'm writing all this down.
You don't have to write down. You can replay this, but
I know, but I'm just okay.
But answer
and
me.
Then if they say, well, yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, we have someone educating our members.
Oh,
maybe
super.
not necessarily on digital, but we've got that covered.
You say you don't have someone for digital, or you do?
I do.
Oh, that's awesome, and I'm sure they do an excellent job. Are they also talking about how Google is rating the urologists online these days?
How Google is what?
Rating the urologists and what their reputation is online?
Ah, okay, I see this now.
See, I didn't stop going, did I?
No, you didn't. That was good.
That's the point. You would have, most of us would have hung up a long time ago. But I'm not, I'm not being antagonistic. I'm just asking.
Got it. So you get them to sort of lower their shields if they're up.
Yeah, I'm not selling them anything, right?
Right.
All I'm doing is volunteering to help them.
Now, let's say we're talking to the urologist, and I started the conversation out saying that I work with urologists, but I actually haven't yet worked with a urologist.
Well, work with one.
Okay. I love your answer. It's simple.
Well, but I mean, really, like, I didn't have my first tire dealer until I walked into a tire store and said, I'd like you to work with me to help you with your marketing because I'm trying to understand the industry and I'll do it for free.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, what you know, here's what you know about me, Carolyn, because you've been around for a while. You know that I have no idea how a car operates, nor do I care, nor do I know where the tailbone's connected to the exhaust pipe bone. I don't care. But I know what this guy's problem is, and I know who he is, and I say he because I've yet to meet a female active owner in a tire shop. I'm sure there are some. I haven't met them. I have met some female tow truck company owners. But do you see where I'm getting at?
Right. So you don't necessarily, you might help them with a mobile site.
Do you go see a doctor, Carol?
Only when I have to.
But you have a family doctor?
Yes.
And is that person an internist?
No. You mean like
I
a
mean,
GP?
Sorry?
You mean like a GP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that your GP knows a urologist? The answer is
Probably.
yes.
Yes.
No, the answer is definitely yes.
Yes.
Because your general practitioner has to refer some of their patients to a urologist or a gynecologist or a digestive disorder person or an orthopedist. He's got that whole bunch of those people that he's connected to, right?
Right.
Well, ask him to ask his friend, and I assume you're on good terms with your physician.
Well, I rarely see him, so yeah, I guess we'd be on good terms.
But I mean, he would take your call, right?
Yeah, I think he would.
And if you were to say to your physician, you know, I've gotten into this business that I've just created, and I really want to work with urologists. And, you know, at this point, I'm not willing to, you know, go out and solicit business till I really understand the problems a urologist has in their practice and how I might be able to use the proprietary tools that I have to help them. Would you mind making a connection for me, Dr. Smith?
Got it.
So now you're going to call Dr. Frankenstein and tell him, Dr. Stein, Dr. Smith, you know, my family physician referred me to you. I'm wondering if I could come in when you have some time, not as a patient, but maybe before office hours or after office hours, and have a half hour of your time. Would that be possible? Dr. Smith strongly suggested you, Dr. Stein. And can I call you Frank? Does that make sense?
Yes, you know, it's like I can't think this stuff out in my own mind. It's like I really appreciate these Thursday things because this really helps talk it out.
Well, but you see, I don't want to just tell you. I want to sort of walk through it with you, so you and everyone else here can start feeling what this is.
Right.
So to give you another example, you know, one of my dear friends has been in the automotive aftermarket industry for 38 years. And he is the one who actually introduced me to one of the tire store owners. And I just said to the tire store owner, let me help you and see where it goes. And if it works out, you can pay me. Now, I want to be very clear to everybody listening to this. I am not suggesting you offer your services for free to anybody as a hook. I'm only talking about your first one.
Because you're positioning it and saying, I want to learn your industry, the challenges of what you face.
I want to see how my tools can help businesses like yours. And I don't believe it's fair for me to charge you because we're going to be spending a lot of time together, and your time's just as valuable as mine.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like when you're a senior in a high school and you get to do one of those like days where you follow along with somebody.
Right.
There's a name for it. Apprenticeship. It's not quite an apprenticeship, but it's the same concept. You know, we're going to be working together. I'm going to be using my tools to help generate business for you. And, if it works, you'll pay me. If it doesn't work, no worries. I'm not asking you for your credit card or any money. I just want to learn your business because this is what I want to dedicate my proprietary tools to. And guess what? Now you also have a testimonial. So when you start bringing Dr. Stein patients, you think he'll give you a testimonial?
I would think so.
Do you think Dr. Frankenstein knows Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde?
Yes.
Yeah, see, the urologists, they all know each other, don't they?
And they're probably not in the same town.
Right.
Cool.
Oh, and by the way, Carolyn,
Yeah.
do you know that the urologist also belongs to an association? And he might even be active in the association, and he might be able to even call the association and tell them to, use you. And when you go to that association, you can say, hey, I'm working with Dr. Stein. That's why I'm calling you, because here's what I've done with Dr. Stein, and it seems that many in your industry have similar issues. You've heard me say this before, by the way.
Yeah.
So in that, and again, I apologize if this sounds like a solicitation. It's not. And truly it's not, because the site's down. But in the Instant Sales Army, if you go to that instantsalesarmy.com, if you're going to do that, by the way, go to /preview, little p, instantsalesarmy.com /preview. But that's one of the techniques that Carolyn and everyone that I'm sharing with you in there. Exactly how I now have this guy who's a friend of mine going out to all of his contacts and selling our services for me on commission, because he's there anyway. And he believes that this can help their business because it will help their business. And he needs to help their business because the better their business is, the more wiper blades and light bulbs and other things that he sells, they'll buy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I spoke at the same time.
All right. So I'm going to see if anyone else has a question. And by the way, I'm typing this in the box, but please know if the site may still be down, it'll be up soon. Carolyn says thank you. So thank you, Carolyn. I'm going to mute you now, okay?
Okay.
Anybody else have a question? BS says I should start charging for the Hangouts. Probably should. The unfortunate thing is when you give people free advice like I'm giving, they value it as free advice. So I hope you all will do something with this. It's really meant to help. This is very helpful. There's common sense and simplicity that we often get blocked and overcomplicate. Yes, that is true. The interaction with Carol was helpful. Thank you, Keith. And that's exactly why I did it. I wanted Carolyn, for Carolyn's benefit, but I wanted it for all of you also. I wanted you to be able to hear this, because it's one thing when I type an email to you or I post a Monday morning marketing minute, but I want you to kind of hear what goes on. So we've talked for almost an hour, and as many of you can probably tell by now, I could talk for another 3 hours. But I thank you all for being here. I thank you for your time. It's DJ, hi, I missed the first 20 minutes. What is in the training? All I can tell you, folks, this Hangout will be reposted, and it's always posted in the local clientformula.com at the Hangouts. If you've missed one of our previous Hangouts, certainly you ought to check it out. And I thank you all. I wish you a very productive week. There will not be a Monday morning marketing minute this Monday, so you get a little bit of a break. Use that time to go back through some of these Hangouts. You're welcome, Bradley. And thank you, DJ. You're welcome. Thanks, Keith. Use that time to go through some of our past Hangouts and read some of those Monday morning marketing minutes and implement them. So I bid you farewell. Thanks so much. Sidra, thank you. Sidra says, awesome. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day, everyone.